The truth about Justin Baldoni's $400 million lawsuit against Blake Lively and Taylor Swift, a Hollywood blockbuster based on a beloved novel. Two charismatic stars at the helm, it was supposed to be a guaranteed hit, but behind the scenes of It Ends With Us, a story of explosive romance, a far darker drama was unfolding. This wasn't about on-screen passion, this was about off-screen power, career-threatening accusations, and a lawsuit so massive it sent shockwaves through the industry. We're talking about a staggering $400 million legal war between co-stars Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. But what pushes this story from a typical Hollywood feud into something else entirely is how a third person, a global superstar with no connection to the film, was strategically dragged into the heart of the conflict, Taylor Swift. This is the story of how a dream project evolved into a nightmare of alleged harassment, extortion, and a calculated campaign to weaponize one of the most powerful names in entertainment. It all started with a single complaint. In December 2024, the idyllic image of the It Ends With Us production was shattered. Blake Lively, the film's star, filed a formal complaint accusing her co-star and director Justin Baldoni of creating a hostile work environment through sexual harassment and retaliation. The news landed like a bombshell, but it was just the opening salvo in a war that would escalate beyond anyone's imagination. Baldoni didn't just deny the claims, he launched a counter-offensive of epic proportions, a $400 million lawsuit aimed squarely at Blake Lively, her husband Ryan Reynolds, and their publicist. The charge? Civil extortion, defamation, and a sinister plot to hijack the film and destroy his career. Hollywood is no stranger to lawsuits, but this was different. The sheer scale of the money, the A-list names involved, and the brutal nature of the accusations put this legal battle in a class of its own. And hidden within the mountain of legal documents was a name that didn't seem to belong. A name that would become a key pawn in this high-stakes game, Taylor Swift. How did she get here? And what was the real reason she was pulled into this vortex of Hollywood drama? To understand that, we have to go back to the beginning. The dream project that became a legal battlefield, It Ends With Us, based on the wildly popular Colleen Hoover novel, was more than just a movie. It was a cultural event in the making. The book had a massive, passionate fan base. The casting of Blake Lively as Lily Bloom, opposite director-star Justin Baldoni as the troubled Ryle Kincaid, seemed like a perfect match. Baldoni, known for championing positive masculinity and feminist ideals, was directing a story about the complexities of love and domestic abuse. Lively was an A-lister, stylish, talented, and respected, the kind of actress who could give the story emotional weight. On paper, it was a recipe for both critical and commercial success. But as filming progressed, rumors of on-set tension began to bubble to the surface. Fans and media noticed a strange dynamic during the film's promo tour. The two leads often appeared distant, disconnected. Then, in late 2024, the rumors solidified into something far more serious. Blake Lively's formal complaint, filed with California's Civil Rights Department, painted a disturbing picture of the environment Baldoni had allegedly created. Her lawsuit, filed on January 1, 2025, outlined a series of troubling claims. Lively accused Baldoni of repeated sexual harassment and other disturbing behavior. According to the filing, this included improvising physical intimacy that hadn't been discussed or choreographed, showing her unsolicited nude photos and videos of other women, and making inappropriate comments about her body. When Lively raised concerns and pushed for safer boundaries on set, she claimed she wasn't met with understanding, but with retaliation. She alleged that Baldoni and his team launched a sophisticated campaign to bury and destroy her reputation. This wasn't just a conflict over creative control, this was a toxic and predatory workplace accusation, followed by a calculated effort to silence her. The battle lines had been drawn. The $400 million counterattack faced with career-ending allegations. Justin Baldoni didn't play defense. He went on the attack. In January 2025, Baldoni and his company Wayfarer Studios filed a massive $400 million countersuit against Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and their publicist. This wasn't a denial, it was an all-out narrative reversal. The 179-page complaint accused the trio of defamation, civil extortion, and invasion of privacy. Baldoni claimed that Lively was orchestrating a power grab, a campaign to seize control of It Ends With Us and push him out of the film he was directing. According to his lawsuit, she made threats to walk off set, refused to promote the movie, and used her husband's influence to corner him into agreeing to her demands. His legal team alleged this was all part of a scheme to hijack the film. Baldoni's lawyer, Brian Friedman, released a blistering statement. He accused Lively of trying to destroy Baldoni by leaking false, outrageous, and edited information to the press. This countersuit turned the entire situation upside down. Suddenly, Baldoni was painting himself as the victim, a filmmaker caught in a ruthless power play. And to prove it, his legal team introduced a surprise twist, a celebrity bombshell that no one saw coming. Taylor Swift. The Taylor Swift connection. Why she was dragged in. Taylor Swift had no professional involvement in It Ends With Us. She wasn't a producer, she didn't appear in the film. Her only connection was granting permission for her song My Tears Ricochet to be used in the trailer. But her personal connection to Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds made her a target. In May 2025, Baldoni's team served Taylor Swift with a subpoena, demanding her private communications with Lively and potentially even testimony in court. Why? Because Baldoni's team alleged that Swift had attended a private meeting at Lively's home, a meeting where script changes were being discussed. Baldoni's lawsuit claimed that Swift and Reynolds both praised Lively's version of a pivotal rooftop scene and used their star power to pressure him into accepting the changes. The most bizarre detail? In one of the messages cited in the lawsuit, Lively allegedly referred to herself as Khaleesi and called Swift and Reynolds her dragons. Baldoni's legal team used this metaphor to suggest that Swift was a powerful weapon in a Hollywood power play, someone being used to intimidate and overwhelm him. It was an audacious claim, and it didn't stop there. Internal documents from Baldoni's crisis PR firm reportedly revealed a plan to actively target Swift's fan base to paint her as a bully and sway public opinion. Lively's team immediately pushed back, calling the subpoena a desperate and harassing tactic, nothing more than tabloid bait. The legal war escalates, things got even messier. Baldoni's team claimed that Lively's lawyer had threatened to leak personal text messages between Lively and Swift unless Swift publicly supported her. It was a bombshell claim, one that bordered on blackmail. But the judge saw through it. In court, U.S. District Judge Louis Lyman condemned Baldoni for what he called abuse of process. That same week, Swift's spokesperson broke the silence. They made it clear Taylor Swift never set foot on the set. She had no say in casting, never saw a cut of the film until after it premiered, and was being unfairly dragged into something she had nothing to do with. The statement called the subpoena what it truly was, an attempt to use her name for clickbait, not justice. In May 2025, Baldoni's team officially withdrew the subpoena. Taylor Swift would not testify. She was, for the most part, out of the storm. The judge's verdict in the aftermath with Swift out of the line of fire, the court turned its attention back to the core issue: Baldoni's $400 million lawsuit. On June 9, 2025, Judge Lyman dismissed the entire case. All of it. The $400 million countersuit against Lively and Reynolds gone. The separate $250 million defamation case against the New York Times also dismissed. The judge ruled that Baldoni's claims lacked legal foundation. Lively's original allegations were protected speech under legal privilege. The claims of extortion and creative sabotage, they didn't hold water under California law. For Lively and Reynolds, it was a sweeping legal win. Their team called the ruling a total victory, a clear rejection of what they said was a frivolous and abusive countersuit meant to punish a woman for speaking up. And the icing on the cake? Baldoni's team declined to refile or amend any part of the lawsuit. It was over. What happens now? With the $400 million case thrown out, you might think the fight is done. But it's not. Blake Lively's original lawsuit, the one that started it all, is still alive. Her claims of harassment and retaliation are now heading toward trial. That trial is set for March 2026. So while the countersuit drama and celebrity distractions are over, the real legal battle is just beginning. Final thoughts: the story of It Ends With Us has become a cautionary tale, a reminder of how quickly a dream project can become a public, painful war. Justin Baldoni's $400 million lawsuit made headlines, but in the end it couldn't stand up to scrutiny. In Taylor Swift, she was caught in the crossfire, used as a pawn in a high-stakes PR war, despite never being part of the movie at all. Now all eyes turn to the 2026 trial. Will Blake Lively's original claims hold up? Will Baldoni's defense stand strong? And will the truth of what happened on that set finally come out? We'll be watching closely. What do you think? Was Taylor Swift unfairly dragged into this mess? Was the judge right to dismiss Baldoni's massive lawsuit? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because this case is far from over and you won't want to miss what happens next. Thanks for watching.